This is AEAs on Air, and I am Denise Crafting, Instructional Technologist from Heartland AEA. Welcome to Digital Learning Day. I'll be presenting on the free K-8 web resource called Kerpoof. The resources in Kerpoof can support students and teachers in grades K through 8, and have been shown to support differentiation, student engagement, critical thinking, and content learning. These are free resources that can support literacy and all other content areas as creation tools. Students will be able to use a variety of resources, such as Spill a Picture for grades K through 3, Make a Movie, Make a Card, and Make a Drawing for grades K through 8, and Make a Picture for grades K through 3. Tell a Story works for grades 3 through 8. So let's click on Kerpoof and create a student account. I've already logged in with my account, so I'll give you a few minutes to go ahead and do that. While you're creating your account, I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between a student account and a teacher account. When you create a student account just from the front level of the page, you're actually requiring parents to support the student. If you create a teacher account, you're then putting your students under your teacher account. So by creating your account right now, you're creating a student account of which you're going to send an email to yourself asking for permission for the student, who again is you, to be able to use this resource. Under the teacher version, which I'll take you to next, you will not have to worry about that type of login, as the teacher will create student usernames and passwords. This is a very compliant website. It does protect student information as they are under the teacher account. So once you've created your account and you've logged in, I want to take you to the For Educators part here. And so if you click on For Educators, what you're going to see is something called Teacher Accounts. Since you already have an account that you've logged in as a student, we're going to have you convert that to a teacher account. So click on Teacher Accounts, and you will see down at the bottom here a teacher application form. You would go ahead and add your nickname and password, log in if you've not already done so, but it allows you to apply for a teacher account. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the back button. The real nice purpose of the teacher account is it allows you to set up student accounts, group them into your classes, and so on and so forth. And of course, when students forget their password, teachers can reset those. So let's take a kind of an in-depth look at what Kerpoof allows you to do. Let's take a look at the main menu items in Kerpoof, as you can see here. One thing about Kerpoof is when students do the creation part, they earn coins. And you can see that I have 684 coins up here. As I've been creating, I get more coins for different items that I add. I can use these coins in the store right here to purchase additional clip art, backgrounds, items for my avatar, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the store. And if I come over into this component, I might want to choose to purchase other clip art, other groups, other people. I could click here to buy different props. I could add new brushes for my doodle. In fact, there's a brush that I really would like to have. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that one for 200 coins. So you can kind of see how this can support financial literacy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come out of this and come out of this one. So that's what the store does. Once I build something and I save it, it goes into my inventory. So if I click on inventory, what you will see are the different things that I have built, that I have stored into my account, my inventory, which I haven't added anything to, and then the thing I want to show you are the different classes. So as a teacher, you can create classes and students can belong to classes, and then they can share items within that class. If the teacher enables the message chat to be turned on, in the mail part, there will be the ability to see different messages. I can also see different items that people have built that have been shared to the group. And you'll notice that I am in the group collaborative writing, which you might have seen when you were in the group part, the creation, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Then the last part we talked about is for educators. We were there briefly looking at the teacher accounts, but you can see there's a whole lot of other things here. Lesson plans, in other words, how these could be used in the classroom ideas, kind of real generic ideas, how it links to standards, so on and so forth. And then back at the Kerpoof page, there's also a direct link to the lesson plans, which you did see in the For Educators part, but this would take you directly to lesson plans. When I go to the lesson plans thing, you can see that they are really connecting by content, by grade level, so on and so forth. So you're welcome to use these, change them up to whatever fits best for your particular classroom. And then finally, the teacher tools. And it's the teacher tools that once you have a teacher account that allow you to add classes, delete classes. You'll see you can reset passwords, delete accounts, so on and so forth. The group tools is where you can say, I want the password for the group to be changed so people can come in and out of it. I can see all the messages. I can delete all these messages if I wish. I could even enable or disable either the chat or the message board. So that's where the kind of the teacher control comes in. So let's go ahead and go into some of the creation tools. What do these tools do for kids? And I'm just going to start over here on the left and work my way through. Spell a picture is really interesting for young kids. So I'm going to go into Spell a Picture. And what I can do is choose a little background here. And I could either use my keyboards to type, or I could put a letter up here. Maybe I want to I'm looking for a desk, but I'm not quite sure how to spell it. Desk. And you know how it puts the arrow, but maybe I made a mistake and I spelled it differently. I could pick any of these. I'm going to go ahead and pick the desk because that's really what I want. And notice how it reinforces the word, what it is, so you have a little bit of a connection between the object and the text. I'm going to add a cow here. I know it's a goofy thing to have a desk and a cow at the same time. Maybe I want them to jump. So by adding different verbs, you can make things happen. So it kind of gives that connection to what the action is happening. So that is what Spell a Picture is. If you want to play with this a little bit, go ahead and pause this video. I'm going to go ahead and click Done. Now, Spell a Picture is not a saved item. It's something that they would just go in and kind of use to reinforce their language skills, make connections with visuals. So let's take a look at Make a Movie. Now, I have built a movie for us to take a look at just as a preview. So I'm going to click on my inventory, and I'm going to look at my creations. And I have a movie example here, so you can kind of see how all the pieces interplay with each other. So here's an example of my movie. You can add music, you can add text to the items. He's being happy, it's an emotion. He's falling asleep. As we progress to scene 2, my dog is sleeping. He's got a friend with him who's barking and saying things. Goes to scene 3. And you can see I can animate, I can make them move around. I can have them do different things as they progress through my animation. So let's take a look at what this looked like to build. I'm going to go ahead and click on my edit button here. This is the first scene, and what I did is I brought in the background. Again, you can choose the background that you wish. I dragged in my character. I decided that I wanted the title to show up, so I dragged that up to here, put my text in. And so you can see how you can start to bring in information based on the stage. And if I click on my object, I have more items here, which is how I got the dog to say arf arf, and to him look happy, and to fall asleep. Now if I go to the next screen, You can see the little bit of difference here. I have two things going on at the same time. I have the song starting. I have the puppy sleeping at the same time the song is starting. I have interjected a new character, Goliath. I have him barking, and I have him adding some text to his bark. I have the other dog waking up, and then I have it fading to black. And the final page, I actually have three things going on at the same time. And so you can have up to four if you see this right side, but I have them doing some things here, the different animals. I have the frog doing some interactive, and again, that's what makes this whole scene work. So you bring in components from the images. You could add text if you want. I didn't add any text to the bottom of any of the pages, but that's how you build scenes. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to kind of play with the movie. So back at Kerpoof, let's talk about Make Card. And Make the Card allows you to build a one-viewed card where you could fold it if you printed it out, but it's really kind of nice to send it to people. So I'm going to go in my inventory. I do have a card that I have pre-built for you to take a look at. And here's my cute little card. It says happy birthday to you with some text in it. So let's take a look at what this did to build. So I'm going to go into the edit mode for it. And again, over on the right, you can see I could bring in all sorts of different things. I could throw rows in here. I could resize the rows. I could rotate it if I wish. I could add a little speech bubble to it, like I did to the happy birthday part here. Adding text at the bottom is what I did to add this piece that says happy wonderful day, I love you. If I don't particularly like that text, I could just click here and I have a little more easy to read text for young children. So this allows you to change the colors and do a lot of other different things with the text as well. Make sure you save all your work before you click done. If you don't, that won't be saved. I'm going to click done now because I don't want that row saved on it. Just wanted to show you what to do. Oh, by the way, if I want more items here, do you see if I click this guy, these things disappear and reappear with other images? And so you can see how you can bring in other components. I could also search for things that maybe are outside the birthday realm, because what it does is when I choose the birthday card, it gives me items that relate to that particular content. So let me click done. I'm not going to save my changes. And I'm back. So again, you are welcome to stop this video and play with Make a Card just to see how it works. We're going to go into Make a Drawing. So Make a Drawing, again, is for, as you can see, the age levels on all these is for ages K-8. I have a drawing that I have done, so I'm going to go back into my inventory. And a real simplistic drawing, nothing really fancy. I've got trees, sun, birds flying around, so on and so forth. Let me show you what that looks like in the edit mode. When you're in the edit mode, you can pick these colors. I can also change them up by, once I've got that color picked, click over here on the raindrop. I can make it a little more translucent, a little bit lighter, so you can see that that appears there. If I make it a little bit darker, see how it changes the different kind of colors. So you choose your basic color and you can choose the darkness of that color, if you will, based upon this slider. This slider here allows me to have a thicker pen. The pen tool is here, the fill tool. If I click on this different tools, I can get more items, but some of these may charge you, not charge you in cost, but charge you in the coins that you collect through the creation of your paints or your stories or whatever. So let me close this. My hand tool allows me to move objects around. See, I've got that as one unit. Maybe I want to restructure it. Here's my eraser. I can erase all different pieces. If I want to undo that, I just click the undo and it brings it back. This allows me to pick a certain color. So if I come in, I really want this particular color, I can pick it. You see those on a lot of paint programs. And so it kind of gives you an idea how the paint works. So I'm going to let you go ahead and play with paint. I'm going to click done because I don't particularly want to save the changes that I have done here, as lovely as they are. Let's take a look at Make a Picture. Now I have an example for Make a Picture. And Make a Picture is kind of a nice segue into Tell a Story because Make a Picture is really one scene. And what you can do here is students can choose a background, you can choose a clip art to add to the picture, you can add speech bubbles and text, but it's really one screen. So I'm going to show you my inventory. I've got a picture made here. So I have a little picture of a campground site. I brought in imagery. I can move them forward, backward to make them size, add text bubbles to them, as well as text and the explanation of the story. So let me go in and edit this so you can see what this looks like. And again, just like you saw in the previous one, I can bring in more items, more clip art pieces. I can make them bigger or smaller, or kind of skew them a little bit. I can rotate them if I wish to. I can add a speech bubble to him. I can use this icon to add text at the bottom, which is what I did for this piece. And if I want to add different items that aren't here or search for them, I can. And then once you're done, you'll want to save that particular picture, and then you can share it with others. I'm going to go ahead and click done here, though, because I don't want to make changes to this. And that would give you a chance to play with your pictures. The final piece that we'll talk through is called Tell a Story. And Tell a Story takes multiple scenes from the pictures and makes a story. So let me share with you the story that I have built. This story has 4 actual scenes or 4 actual pieces to the book. And if I look at the book, it's kind of fun because I would take the page and turn it to the next page in the view. Same thing back and forth. And so I'm able to add a background to each page. I'm able to add characters or items and then text. So let me show you what this looks like in the edit mode, because the Tell a Story is just a little bit different than some of the things that we've dealt with. This is mainly because the items down below now represent what you're going to be putting into your story. So this is the characters. And in this particular one, I have all these different characters. And so let's bring in, I'll bring in my character here into my story. Maybe that's Susan. And I want to size her just a little bit smaller so she fits right by the spacecraft. And again, I can move around. I can do a lot of work with her. She kind of fits my story. When this page was built, I'll show you that on the next section when I add another page. I have a text box here where I could type part of the story in. And then I did the same thing over here. I came over here and I added a background. The background is this icon. And so I could change the background if I wish to. I'm not going to in this particular story, but there are a lot of other backgrounds. If I want to add objects, not characters, but objects to my page, I could do that here. Just add little objects. I'm not adding a character, I'm adding an object, which is why the icon is different. And if I want to add a speech bubble to my icon or my character, I can do that. I'll do that here. Susan says, "Wow, it is lonely here." And so you can see that you can add speech bubbles as well to different items, whatever you want to put them. Color changes, all those things I think are pretty self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and go to the next section of my story where they go inside their little living space. And I'm going to show you how to add a page. I add another page here. If I click here, you notice that I get the type part here. If I click on this piece, I can go ahead and add the image background. If I want to add characters, And then I can add my text here. The editing is very easy to move things around. I want to finish the next page. I can do the same thing. I can add again another background. So I think you can see that literacy connections, the creativity connections, think about those when relating to the Iowa core, were creativity, the ability to communicate, which is what you're doing here in text, which is part of the universal constructs, hitting literacy with the storytelling. They could share how they're counting for math, how many squares are in a picture over here, or kind of making story problems up, or those types of things. So the ability to add stories and build stories and do a lot of work really does as a nice connection to a lot of the components of the Iowa core. Again, sharing these within students in your groups or your classes. It's just a really great and free tool that has been built for students and teachers. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, go ahead to kerpoof.com. You can connect with them as well. But it's a really great and free resource. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun exploring.